everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel Crafty Lefty. I'm Tanya and today we're going to do another hand sewn project. It's going to be a very simple pouch, and basically if you want to make the pouch bigger or smaller, it's totally up to you. And if you want a template for this particular pouch, you can always drop me an email or DM my Instagram account. Alright, you're going to see the link right here. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to comment. Alright, thanks guys, enjoy the video. Alright, so we're going to take our template. So if you guys want a template, you can always drop me an email or DM my Instagram account. It's Soapspirational. Alright, I think it's up there on the screen. So you can always make this pouch bigger or smaller, it's totally up to you. You can alter from this template. So we're going to take the template and we're going to place it on our fabric. We will need 2 pieces of fabric. So what you can do is actually fold your fabric in half and trace, which is what I'm going to do. Just fold my fabric in half so it's easier. Okay, place my template on top of it. So what you do is I kind of like to take the right side. Okay, my fabric is not so obvious, but the right side, so the prettier, brighter side of fabric. So brighter side, fold it to the brighter side. Okay, bright. We're gonna trace from the not so bright side. So for this project, you will need fabric. You will need some embroidery thread, fabric chalk or pencil to trace. You definitely need some pins to pin your fabric. For the embroidery thread, you need embroidery needle and a needle threader. I think it will make it easier. Scissors or a snipper. There you go. Alright, and a piece of elastic. Mine is about 4 mm. I cut about 15 cm long for this project. So you can tie a knot later, I'll show you. And where's my button? There you go. And 1 button. Alright, any color is totally up to you. My button is about, let me get my measuring tape. I didn't use a too small a button. It's a little bit bigger. Alright. My button is about 2 centimeters in diameter. Like I said, you can be creative and do whatever you like. So I'll just show you this simple pouch. Alright, let's trace it out. I'm going to place my template, grab my pencil, and start tracing out. Alright, I finished the trace out and I pinned my 2 pieces of fabric together. Before cutting, maybe I'll just give a quick explanation how I ended up with this template. So basically the entire length is 25 cm. Alright, how I got the corners, okay, so the length is 25, my width is 16, and what I did was I measured 4.5 cm in from the width side, okay? So 4.5 cm in, you see this here? So I drew a line down to make a marking, and what I did was join the 2 corners, alright, the 2 corners here. So it's 5 centimeters in, down this way, 5 centimeters and 4.5. 5, 4.5. So from the width, 4.5 in, from the length, 5 cm down, and that's how I got 2 points. I met the 2 points, okay, and then I cut out the corner. So it's totally up to you how big a corner you want, but I'm just letting you know what my template is all about. Okay, enough with my template, time to cut my fabric out. Okay, so just cut along the lines of, yeah, you don't have to leave any allowance. Alright, so I've cut out the fabric and we're actually going to sew. So before we sew, I think it's a good idea to actually mark. It's very simple. Just take a ruler, take a pencil, and I'm just going to leave like a ½ centimeter allowance. So this is going to help be a guideline for me to actually sew straight, I would say. Okay. So I have actually already drawn some lines, so I'll just show you what I'm doing. I think you can see the lines over here. Okay, so lines all around. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our elastic. We're going to tie a knot. Alright. The reason why I'm doing this is that it'll make it a little bit harder for it to actually slide out. Okay. So the elastic's gonna be, let's just mark this center. So I'm just gonna fold it in half, scoring it with my nails. Now I'm gonna open it up. So this is like the center. I'm going to take my pencil and do a marking. That's the center. Alright, I'm going to put the elastic in between. See? So I'm going to flip open this part, the fabric. I'm going to place my elastic right here. Okay? Pull this down. So I'm going to make sure my elastic is on that point that I marked as the center. Once I get it there, try and pin it down. So I'm going to pin it below because we're going to sew up there later. Okay, got it pinned down. Okay, first point is this. Get your elastic. Get your elastic to this point, alright? The other thing to take note is that I drew the lines and I didn't draw anything right here because I'm going to leave a small little space. We are not going to sew this space at the end here. And this is because we're going to turn this whole thing inside out after we sew. So, alright, grab your thread, needle and thread. We're going to start sewing. Okay, so I'm just going to show like how I'm going to thread my needle. Needle threader, goes through the eye of the needle. Thread, goes through a little bit, and then we pull it out. There you go. Don't forget to knot the other side. Okay, I cut a long piece of thread because I want to try and sew the whole thing with this one strand. But if you can't handle such a long piece of thread, because there is a high chance that it could get entangled, just cut a shorter one, so no worries. I'm going to start here, because this is the point that we're not going to sew. So it's kind of like you start here, go one round, and reach this side. So I'm going to start here. We're going to do a running stitch. Alright, so from the front to the back, pull it out. And don't forget, follow your lines from the back to the front. You can actually try and make smaller stitches because it will be stronger, and also the pouch will not have so many openings or holes when you put your stuff in. Yeah, like my squares are kind of small or smaller, so if I followed my squares it would also be quite okay, but you could go even smaller. It's all up to you. Just try not to do very big stitches because it won't hold it nicely together. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do a running stitch, right? And we're going to sew all around to this side. Alright, so I just wanted to show when you reach the elastic part. Okay, so I'm going to go and sew it in. And don't be afraid to either make the stitching smaller, or you could even do an extra stitch. I'll just show you. I'm going to do a smaller stitch. So I'm actually piercing through the elastic more than once because I want to secure my elastic. But just make sure you're keeping in the line that you drew just now. Okay. So I may actually go backwards because I just want to secure the elastic some more. Alright, see what I did? So now that it's secure, I'm just going to remove the pin. So as you sew along, you can just remove the pins so you don't get poked by them. As you can see, I'm now going to sew from back to front, front to back. Alright, so continue till the end, right here, and leave this space. Okay, now that we have reached the end, right, and we still have this opening here, we're going to tie a knot. Okay, snip it off, put it aside. Alright, the other thing that you need to snip off to make it less bulky before you turn it inside out will be the corners. And yeah, maybe cut off a little bit the elastic. There you go. Alright, now we can turn it inside out. So of course, as you turn it inside out, don't forget to push out the corners. So it's a pretty easy, fun project, and I like that it has a cleaner finishing. Well, at least this design that I like to use sometimes. Okay, if you really want to get the corners out, you can always use a pin, you know, and I usually do this. But don't pull too much, because your fabric might spoil your fabric. Alright, so flatten it out. See, elastic is nice and secure. So we still have this opening here. What we're going to do is we're going to sew this part down. So I have flattened it. I'm going to pin it first. So what you're going to do, you're actually going to sew right across. It will also serve as a pretty design. Okay, grab your thread. Pretty design, and it will also close up the hole. And yeah, I kind of like about the pretty design part. That's the reason why you can choose whatever colored embroidery thread. Same thing from the front to the back, back to the front. If you're afraid you can't do a straight line, you can always, like I said, take a ruler and measure. So sew all the way to the end. Alright, so once you finish to sew this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it up. And, okay, my fabric is kind of softer. Alright, so I'm going to fold it up, and I'm going to make sure that it matches the corners. Okay, and then I'm going to pin it. Alright, so that I can see what's going on. And I'm going to mark where my button's going to be. Right. So just imagine that the button will be hooked around here. So I would say about here. It's kind of cool that it's right here. So there's two ways of doing this. You want to take a challenge, you can actually sew the sides first and then try sewing your button from inside, or you can open this up and do the button first where you marked. Okay, your choice. I am going to still continue using my pink because it's so pretty. Alright. Well, you don't have to do anything fancy for the button because it's it doesn't have to really be super strong. Okay. Alright, that's all I'm gonna do. Simple. It will hold, yeah. Okay, button is done. Now, same thing, let's fold this back up and pin it down. So I'm going to pin the sides as well. Okay, so all you have to do is just sew down the sides. Again, get your thread. Maybe I will use green. Although it's light, for you guys it might be light, but I can kind of see it. Like I said, it's kind of pretty to have different colors. Gives the pouch a lot of character. So if you want to hide the knot, you can. You can start off by sewing inside, just one bit. Oops. Alright, and then you can sew down closely. Yeah, so there's no knot. So always make sure that the tension, don't pull too much because it will pucker up the material. Front to back, back to front. Alright, all the way to the end. Alright, so I have reached the end and I want to hide my knot. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do it. So we have it's two pieces, right? Okay, so I'm going to just pierce through one. I know this might be kind of tricky for you guys if you are not so familiar with sewing, but you could give it a try. Or if you don't mind, you can just leave the knot where it is, don't worry. So yeah, do you see that? I'm piercing through one. And I'm going to tie a knot. I'm going to tie a knot and I'm going to tuck it into that part. See that? It's inside. See, my knot is inside. There you go. I'm going to cut as close as possible to the knot, right? And it's going to be, yeah, tucked in. There you go, no knot. But of course it's up to you, don't worry about it. You can see the knot because it's part of the design. So now to sew the other side, exactly the same thing. Prepare your thread if it's not prepared. And yep, all the way to the end. Alright, so we are done. Ah, this is so cute. Okay, so I have, this one's because I have a slightly longer elastic, so it's totally up to you. You can just loop it over the button, like that. Yeah, it's because there's nothing inside, so yeah. I have another fabric button. I cut the elastic a little bit shorter, so actually it's all up to you, how long, how short you want. Auntie's so cute. Let's see what we can put inside. Okay, I managed to reach out for a packet of tissue. That fits. What else do I have around me? Nothing much. A lot of sewing stuff. Maybe just imagine that this is coins, money, whatever. Oh, look, it fits. And you could still put some more stuff. Okay, there you go. Cool, nice pouch. I think it's a great Christmas gift. If you want to make something simple and you want it to be a handmade gift, this stuff is pretty useful because you can put anything in. I like to organize my bag with little pouches inside, and when I want to change my bag, it's easier. I can just take everything out like in the pouches, because sometimes we have small stuff and if you throw it into your bag, you probably keep digging into your bag to search for it. So I think this is pretty cool. So yeah, ta-da! Here you go, completed. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys actually enjoyed it. This is actually a very simple handmade gift that you can actually give someone this wonderful Christmas season. So if you guys want a template or any questions or anything, you can always leave a comment on my video, or you can drop me an email. If you actually sewed the pouch and you want to share it with me, you can drop me an email or DM my Instagram account. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, give a thumbs up if you like this video, and comment. And I'll see you guys soon with my next video. Bye!